Listen to your kitchen, listen to your tortillas and what they're saying to you. Hello and welcome back to Quarantine Kitchen. I know for a lot of us lockdown is starting to ease up. Who knows how long that's going to last. In the meantime, obviously we still need to be eating, cooking, and using up what's in our kitchens. I am excited today to share with you guys a recipe I just tried for the first time last week, and it turned out so good I'm making it again. It's called Maafe. It's a West African peanut stew. I actually tried it for the first time in cafes in California, so it's a popular vegan dish. We're going to be making it with chicken, but you can use any meat or no meat at all. Pretty much all. So this is everything we're pretty much going to be working with today. Last time I made this, I pretty much just put in carrots, sweet potato, leeks, and some garlic. So it's going to be slightly more diverse this time around. I got some kale, peppers, but again, your core ingredients are just going to be peanut butter and some tomato. And I've just cut up all this chicken. First step is just going to be browning the meat if you're using any kind of meat. Any type of cut will be fine for this. This is just what we happen to have at the moment. Here's some spices I'm going to be using with the chicken. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it all in the stew, so I'm going to use some sort of non-specific spices. Paprika, maybe a bit of turmeric, make it more interesting. Fenugreek, don't really get what this stuff is. It smells kind of like licorice though, so I'm enjoying it with this flavor combo, and a bit of chili for some heat. If I had cayenne pepper, that would be all over this. Also gonna throw some garlic in the stew. In terms of cooking this chicken, you just want to use a little bit of oil because the dish is gonna have plenty of fats in it, so no need to get ahead of ourselves with that. Trying out some different filming techniques thanks to Yassi's suggestion. Gonna throw the spices on. That's our makeshift lid. In the meantime, I'm gonna cut up, leek, the garlic, and the pepper. Get everything else ready so we can start cooking stuff in our pot. So I'm keeping the garlic quantities kind of same here and just using some leek and onion actually from this bag of stuff that we've got. And I think what I'm gonna do is take some of the sort of herby oil from this chicken here in a second and start sauteing those things here in my pot. That's where everything is going to go in the end. Now here in this early stage of sauteing stuff in the pot, it's probably a good time to go ahead and add spices as well. So I'm just going to add a bunch more fenugreek, some chili flakes, maybe just some pepper, and a bit of salt. It's going to be a lot of stuff in here, so you don't have to be shy with that. Kind of looks like I could use a bit more oil here actually, so I'm gonna bite the bullet and throw a tiny splash in. Gotta work with the vegetables. Listen to your tortillas, as we say. Be responsive to what the food's looking like. You want it to be able to brown rather than just burn, if that makes sense. getting kind of moist over here in chicken world, so I am going to take the lid off for probably the rest of the time. It's not a big deal if this is cooked all the way through, because you're obviously going to be simmering it for a couple of hours. But since we're not sure if we're going to use all of the chicken right away, kind of makes sense to make sure it's pretty thoroughly cooked. And you can tell that by just kind of cutting it open a bit and seeing if it's white or raw looking on the inside. It smells good, and I like the color of it too. Turmeric definitely gives stuff a bit of flair. So things are getting a little burny in here, but feeling okay about it. I'm going to use this ladle to start adding in chicken. Obviously, how much of everything you want to use is pretty variable based on the size of your pot. I can only cook so much in this thing. If you have a huge one, you can make enough food for weeks. I'm going to add the sort of elements that make this soup now, so you can hear me. I'm going to use most of this can of tomatoes that I opened the other day. I'm going to go ahead and throw in the water and so just about 1 can full of water. Might just put the rest of this chicken away for a different meal. Maybe just throw like a piece or two in here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add in my kale. This has been washed already. This should give us a nice kind of colored greensy vibe. Don't need to use it all. It's looking pretty full, but it'll all cook down. And I'm gonna throw in carrots, butternut squash, sweet potatoes. We have eaten all of ours. And I think this butternut squash will be a fine substitute. There's also potatoes in here. I don't think I'm gonna put them in. This recipe doesn't really feel needed, but if you want them, don't let me stop you. Pretty full pot, but we are still going to throw in several big chunking spoonfuls of peanut butter. Crowning ingredient. So put in like 2 big spoonfuls now. Put in like a 1/3 honkin' one. I'll show you how it's reacting here. So you can see right away it's kind of disintegrating, turning into like a sauce. If you can get this chunky kind with the actual peanuts in it, so that's definitely recommended. So you're definitely getting the right color already, just with adding in the peanut butter. It's still fairly watery, but I'm probably going to throw some more peanut butter in here in a bit, and that's just going to completely be the taste. But my stew isn't even totally bubbling yet, so we're going to want to keep it at sort of a steady low boil for a long time. Definitely taste the peanut butter. Might not need too much more of that. This is where it's completely up to personal taste. I mean, just like this whole recipe, really. And you can see how it's kind of thickening a bit. Almost like you put in some dairy, but we didn't, obviously. Yeah, I really like the flavor that I'm getting out of this right now. It's rich and savory. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. Just gonna let it hang out here for a really long time. So it's only been a minute, but my stew is happily boiling away over here. I'm gonna turn it down. It's all the way up right now. Turn it down to like a 4 for now. Turn it down to a 3 later, and just let that do its thing. And lest you think I forgot about the bell pepper, just gonna throw it in now. Yeah, if you wanted to add any more vegetables or anything, pretty much feel free to do that anytime along this process. Just keeping in mind if it's something like potato or a sweet potato, that it will take quite a while to cook up. Just want to show you guys the sort of gorgeous coloring and bubbling that we're getting here from all of those tasty oils. So it's been like over half an hour. I'm just going to check on this, turn it down to the lowest setting. It's bubbling away. I'm not sure if I really need to add any more peanut butter to this, actually. It seems pretty well balanced. It'll work by flavor here. It's kind of done whenever I want it to be, really. Probably going to give it like 30 to 40 more minutes. Cool, so it's about 3:45. Stew's been on for a little under 2 hours. I think I'm about ready to call it here. It's boiled down some, which is fine. I believe in many traditions this is paired with some fresh white rice. I'm gonna just turn the heat off there. You're welcome to do that. I've eaten it both ways, just as a regular soup or with some rice on the side. It's really good either way. Yeah, I'm happy with this. Yum, yum. So, thanks for watching. Hope you all keep eating well, stay safe, and enjoy your meals. Just listen to that bubbling stew. Wish you could smell it through the screen.